Tonight on the news, Supreme Court begins hearing petitions for election of Ondo State's governor and another skills education and empowerment program for women. Amoteko parade 13. China and Philippines accuse each other over collision. Sea. Thank you very much for joining us tonight on the news at 7 on Osrc television. I am Oyewumi Ayinibara. And tonight we begin with judicial matters. The Supreme Court has struck out the appeal made by the Allied People's Movement APM in a bid to nullify the election of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president. APM approached the Supreme Court to nullify the judgment of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, which on September 6 upheld the declaration of Tinubu as the winner of the 2023 presidential election. The tribunal has struck out the petition of the APM challenging the qualifications of President Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima. At the hearing today, the lead counsel for the party, Chukwuma Makuchu Ume, told the Supreme Court that the appeal was not premised on double nomination. Ume further insisted that Shettima was illegally nominated, after which the court asked if the APM had anything to gain from the matter. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has reserved its judgment on the appeal the candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, filed to challenge the outcome of the presidential election held on February 25. A seven-man panel of the Apex Court led by Koro approved the matter for judgment after all the parties adopted their briefs of argument. Obi and the Labour Party, through their lawyers led by Dr. Levi Ozoku, urged the courts to uphold the appeal and set aside the judgment of the Presidential Election Petition Court, PEPC, that dismissed their petition. Through their respective lawyers, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, President Bola Tinubu and the All Progressives Congress, APC, prayed the court to dismiss the appeal for want of merit. The appeal said it would communicate the judgment date to all the parties. In the meantime, the Supreme Court has dismissed an appeal filed by Senator Smart Adeyemi against the judgment of the two lower courts on the All Progressives Congress primary election, which held in Kogi State on April 15, 2023. The Supreme Court, in a unanimous judgment, held that the appeal lacked merit, having failed to challenge the concurrent findings of both the High and Appeal Court or demonstrate that same were perverse. The Apex Court also held that the two issues raised in the appellant's brief were unreasonable, vexatious, not tribal, and against the provisions of the week. Adeyemi, who represented Kogi West Senatorial District in the Ninth Assembly, had filed a suit at the Federal High Court seeking to nullify the primary election of the APC, which produced Usman Ododo as the party's flag bearer for the state's governorship election slated for November 11. And the federal government has finally emerged victorious in its legal case against Process and Industrial Development P&ID Limited in a United Kingdom court. After over 5 years of legal judgment was delivered in favor of Nigeria, which has now halted the enforcement of the $11 billion arbitration award previously in favor of P&ID. In a virtual ruling, the Justice of the Commercial Courts of England and Wales, Robin Knowles, upheld Nigeria's prayer on the ground that the ill-fated gas process was obtained in a fraudulent manner. An 8-week trial had taken place in the High Court in London between January and March 2023, during which Nigeria's substantive application that is bribery and corruption on an industrial scale, that key associates of P&ID suppressed evidence of corruption in the initial arbitral proceedings. And now President Bola Tinubu has applauded Nigeria's victory in its legal case against Process and Industrial Development in a UK court. Tinubu, while applauding the judgment in a statement by its spokesperson, Ajuri Ingalali, said Nigeria will no longer be held hostage. According to President Tinubu, the landmark judgment proves conclusively that nation states will no longer be held hostage by economic conspiracies between privates and solitary Ondo State has been adjudged the third-best state in fiscal transparency and integrity in Nigeria. The rating recently released by the Center for Fiscal Transparency and Integrity Watch in partnership with the MacArthur Foundation places Ondo behind Ekiti and Kaduna. Center for Fiscal Transparency and Integrity said it's considered six key areas: accessibility, open budgets, public procurement, human resources, anti-corruption, and citizen engagement in generating the rating index. In a statement to acknowledge the feat, the Ondo State Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Bamdeli Ademola Olateju, noted that the positive achievement did not come in one fell swoop. She explained that the steady climb up the transparency and accountability ladder by Ondo State is a laudable understanding of the foundations needed for sustainable as opposed to imperial development. Ekiti, Kaduna, Ondo, Lagos, and Gombe are the top five states, while Adamawa, Benue, Ogun, Bayelsa, and Akwa Ibom occupy the bottom position. Wife of Ondo State Governor Betty Ayanwa Akeredolu has charged women in Ondo State to utilize any opportunity at their disposal for wealth creation. She stated this at Iloluji Okegbo local government area of the state during Ondo State Acquisition and Empowerment Program OSAEP organized for women in the Southern Senatorial District of the state. Government House correspondent Omoriola Ngbeji reports that the one-month training established by Mrs. Betty Ayanwa Akeredolu was in collaboration with Foundation for Wives of Ondo State Officials for WOSO and Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development.
This is the second edition of Ondo Acquisition and Empowerment Program, OSAIP, organized to empower women on 7 programs to include bead making, fashion designing, solar power energy, catering towards making healthier and prouder womanhood. The first edition was held last year in the Central Senatorial District, with about 100 participants who are currently doing well in their various capacities. Addressing the gathering, wife of Ondo State Governor Anyolu, represented by Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Olumi Oshadaun, initiated there as believes in women's economical fortification, a precondition for women's emancipation. She called for their total attention with a promise to further encourage them for greatness.
You must develop the right mental attitude that is needed for entrepreneurial success as you acquire the skills so that you begin to make mental plans as something of the market available for your skills.
Senior Special Assistant to Governor Akeredolu on Gender, Research and Documentation, Temitope Daniel, who spoke on the overview of the project, said 100 participants will benefit from this year's training, which is tagged Total Package.
We are going to expose them to trainings like breast health, lectures like financial intelligence, and also the importance of registering with CAC. So this event is a total package because at the end of the 1 month, individual trainee will be given certificates. They will be certified and also empowered hugely.
Omoloja, represented by Gbemisola Iyantan, wants the participants to see this training as an opportunity to attain greatness.
To be focused. It is just 30 days, 1 month, and you'll be out of this place. And the good news is, by the time you'll be born, you'll be highly equipped. You'll be given tools to work with.
Others at the events, including Special Advisor to the Governor on Gender, Olamide Falana, described the project as a balanced diet for empowerment that will benefit society if properly utilized.
It is complete in all sense. The women are going to be empowered with knowledge. They are going to be empowered in terms of giving them resources. They are going to have the tools to work with, and eventually, when they live here, they will live here better than they came.
Every day counts. Forget the money you are going to be given later on. Look at the issue of the training you are coming here for. Once you are being trained, it becomes part and parcel of your life.
At the end of the training, I'll be capacitated in order to impart in the governor's wife.
The participants, who are drawn from Ileoluji, Okeibo, Odigbo, Ilaja of Ondo State, are camped for the training in Ileoluji community for the next 1 month. Omoriola Hungbeji, Osrc News.
You're still watching Osrc News at 7. After the break, Amotekun Corps parade 33 criminal suspects in Akure. This and more. Please to join us there. Thank you very much for rejoining us. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng. Follow us on Facebook at OSRC TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo. A total of 33 suspected criminals have been paraded by the Ondo State Security Network Agency Amotekun Corps for various offenses ranging from burglary, human trafficking, kidnapping, and attempted murder. Among the suspects is an ex-convict, Kamarudin Owolabi, who, after his jail term, allegedly engaged in snatching of motorcycle at Ems Point until his latest arrest. Osrc Said Arabisla reports that a couple were also paraded for alleged burglary and stealing in Akure, the state capital.
Arrested from different locations in Ondo State, these 33 suspected criminals, males and females, are assembled here at the headquarters of Ondo State Security Network Agency, Amotekun Corps. 6 individuals for suspected kidnappings of properties, among others, form the group presented for parade. 37-year-old Kamarudin Owolabi is one of them, alleged for attempted murder of a motorcycle rider and stealing. Investigation by the security agency revealed that he committed the alleged act just 3 weeks after his release from a correctional center where he had served a 1.5-year jail term arising from his arrest 2 years ago.
Me, I just come from prison on 28th last month. I find work, I know see, but I see site, we say, I won't go brush. Where I go brush. Later, I come, they find pali for that dustbin, for junction by junction. And they find and they sell am. That day before yesterday, I come tell am, say, I don't want to sleep for garage. That whole garage, he say, I won't go sleep for in your house. He say, no, I say, in your house, he dey for laughing. Say, no, so, we go cathedral, we carry Okada, we go. He stop for Laughing Junction. So that guy they go. I can't wait. He can't tell me, say, man, they come now. The guy call the house and say, where my money? The guy don't answer him. Now so now that guy they call thief. Now so they owe me.
The victim Adesoji Sukiru now death experience and how the assailants had to be passengers who needed his service around 10 p.m.
Mo wá wà ní cathedral, mo wá lọ jẹun bí mo ti bá àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi ṣeré ni mo rí àwọn bọ̀bọ̀ méjì kan tó náwó sí mi tó ní àwọn lọ sí Ìlàfẹ́. Màá ní Ìlàfẹ́ junction pé màá bá wọn padà sí cathedral bá àwọn kan lóhùn. Wọ́n á wò pé ṣé kì í ṣe
Amotekun Commander Adetunji Adeleye said the agency will not rest in ensuring Ondo State remains inhabitable for criminals. Also paraded by the security network is a call for alleged burglary and stealing in Akure, the state capital. According to the Amoteco boss, the suspects, after stealing, secured fake affidavits. As per of the Utah approaches, the State Security Agency is also getting set for a 24-hour patrol and intensive operations to flush out criminals.
I want to use this opportunity to reassure members of the public that the Ondo State Security Network Agency, Amoteco Corps, remains resolute in ensuring that the festive period goes without security breaches. Next up, we'll be launching annual Ember patrols. We will not be able to go far without the cooperation of the public. What are we saying? You see something and you say something.
16 of the suspects have secured a date to appear in court, while others are poised to also register their presence in the court of law for justice to take its course. Sahira Ribisala, OSRC News.
Okay, now series into end of transatlantic slave trade. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Chief Executive Officer of Nigerians and Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabirerewa, and others have relished return of African descendants to their homeland, describing the development as a dawn of renewed hope and freedom. They spoke at the Diaspora Festival Badagry with the theme, The Fourth Door of Return at Historic Towns in Lagos. Sanwo-Olu described the event as symbolic, explaining that in technology, creative arts, music, and entertainment, the black man is recognized. On a part, Dabirerewa explained that the initiative began in 2017, submitting that some of the returnees were coming in for the first time and ready to invest in Nigeria. Dabirerewa called for the need to collaborate between the private sector and government to bring back many more Nigerians whose great-grandparents were forcefully taken to America. President Bola Tinubu says the new student loan program of federal government will take off in January 2024. Tinubu disclosed this while speaking at the 29th edition of the annual Nigerian Economic Summit organized by the Nigerian Economic Summit Group in Abuja. He assured that the era of industrial actions in the nation's academic environment has come to an end with the development. President Tinubu stressed on the need to immediately initiate a sustainable credit scheme, which, according to him, will aid an effective anti-corruption campaign. Indigents of Ikariakoko have tripped out in large numbers to celebrate the annual Olokemiji Takotabo Festival. The festival has its roots in the symbolic role of the hilltop, which, according to tradition, served as the first settlement for Ikaria people and a place of refuge in trying times. The Owali of Ikariakoko, Oba Adeleke Adedoyin Adigbite, offered prayers for the entire community and Nigeria with a charge to government to harness the tourism potentials of the festival.
Behind the palace of the Owali of Ikariakoko lies a hill known as Okemeji Takotabo in local parlance. Before the present-day Ikariakoko, a town in Ondo State, southwest Nigeria, this hilltop where I'm standing is said to be the first settlement for the progenitors of this town after their long trip from Ile-Ife, the origin of the Yorubas. According to tradition, it was said that Ifa had directed the forebears to locate a hilltop where they will find something strange, and this turned out to be Omiaton, a body of water that never dries up. Annual origins of the hilltop in a manner had to commune with their creator and celebrating the significance of this hill, which according to history served as the port of settlement for the progenitors of the town, as a place to the Olokemeji Festival. Entire homes up once again in 2023. The monarch, Owale of Ikare Akoko, Oba Adeleke Adegbite Adedoyin, led indigents from far and near to the hilltop to offer prayers to their creator. One of the things prohibited during this festival is the adoption of exercise. The traditional ruler stopped at different strategic locations on the hilltop, including at this body which is said to never dry up, to request for the Almighty's favor over the town, its people, and development area. He expressed optimism the festival will receive full exposure and improve Nigeria's revenue from tourism if greatly unearthed by government.
Our cultural heritage must not go into extinction. And you know, this festival is so important because Ikare Akoko is known and called Ọmọ Olókè Méjì Takọtabo, Ikare Ọmọ Olókè Méjì Takọtabo, and the Òkè Méjì Takọtabo is the mountain. That's where we are now. We have the male and we have the female. And in the olden days, we were told that during the intertribal war, when the Tapa war came, our people, they moved from the lower side and, you know, they relocated to this Òkè Méjì Takọtabo. You can see people here from even abroad. Some people came from UK, from US, just because of this festival, and our people came from Lagos, Ibadan, all over the country just for this festival. That's to show you how important the festival is.
While the white attire symbolizes purity, the indigents who defy religious leanings believe their prayers are granted.
Is and the reason why most culture is this. You see on the map, putting on their regalia, even you can bishop, you also see Muslim putting as so we are putting peace. So we work together, we pray together, we eat together, and we dwell together.
The annual festival is usually a rallying point for the people across age grade, as the prayer sessions eventually snowballed into an atmosphere of celebration. From Ikare Akoko, Sahid Arabisala, Osrc News.
Terrorists have struck Damusa local government area of Katsina State and killed 5 people, while no fewer than 12 others were later injured. 5 residents were also abducted during the attack. The residents revealed that the terrorists initially attacked from the outskirts due to the presence of security operatives and vigilantes in the town, but gradually moved inside where they intensified the onslaught. The State Police Command spokesman Abubakar Aliyu confirmed the development, saying investigation is underway into the issue. And now to the foreign scene. China and Philippines have traded accusations over a collision in disputed waters of the South China Sea in Chinese vessels blocked Philippine boats supplying forces there on Sunday in the latest of a series of maritime confrontations. The two countries have had numerous run-ins in the South China Sea in recent months, especially near the disputed second Thermos Shoal, part of the Spratly Islands. Adirunke Kolawole has the detail.
China and the Philippines have traded accusations over a coalition in disputed waters of the South China Sea as Chinese vessels blocked Philippines boats supplying forces there. Armed forces of the Philippines released this video showing the Chinese vessel grazing the hull of the Philippine boats. The coalition occurred during the Philippines resupply mission to troops stationed on a rusted World War II era transport ship used as an outpost of the shore. China's Coast Guard said they were lawfully blocking the boat from transporting illegal construction materials to the warship. Manila responded by condemning the dangerous blocking maneuvers of the Chinese vessel. The US sided with the Philippines, offering support to its ally. In a statement, the US State Department said China's actions amounted to repeated harassment in the South China Sea and they were dangerous and unlawful. Beijing claims sovereignty over almost the entire South China Sea, including parts of the exclusive economic zones of Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, and the Vietnam. The Permanent Court of Arbitration in 2016 says China claims had no legal basis. Adirunke Kolawole, Osrc News.
And still on the foreign scene, a teenage Iranian girl who fell into a coma after an alleged altercation with morality police is now considered to be brain dead. 16-year-old Amita Geravand collapsed after boarding a Tehran metro train on October 1. Activists accused morality police of assaulting her for not wearing a hijab, but authorities insisted she fainted. Akitunde Akishimala has the detail.
Iranian state has reported a teenager girl is brain dead after an alleged encounter with officers earlier this month over violating the country's hijab law. CCTV footage for Tehran Metro on October 1 shows an unconscious girl being dragged out from the cabin. Iran has denied that 16-year-old Amita Jeravan was hurt after a confrontation with officers enforcing the mandatory Islamic dress code. Rights groups have been concerned that Jeravan might face the same fate as Mahsa Amini, whose death last September in the custody of morality police sparked nationwide anti-government protest. Two journalists were handed long prison sentences on Sunday by an Iranian revolutionary court over their coverage of Amini's death, according to state media. Niloufar Ahmedi was sentenced to 13 years and Elahe Mohammadi 12 years in prison. The charges include collaboration with the U.S. government and acting against national security. Lawyers for the two journalists have rejected the charges. Akintunde Akinshimola for SRC News.
And in sports, delegation of home-based players and technical staff from Nigeria has flown into Addis Ababa for the opening leg of the 2024 Women Olympic Football Tournament against Ethiopia on Wednesday at Abebe Bekila Stadium. Nigeria's midfielder Esther Oyinezide, who impressed at last year's FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup finals in Costa Rica, has been drafted to take the place of 2023 FIFA World Cup star Alimatu Ayinde in Nigeria's squad. Midfielder Regina Out and defender Osinachi Oale, who plays for Pachuca FC of Mexico, are both being ruled out of the fixture, just as World Cup star Christy Ochebe, who is also out of the counter. The winner on aggregate will confront the winner of the feature between Cameroon and Uganda. Ethiopia's senior girls turned back the senior women national team to Chad 10-0 in the first round of the series in July. And with that sports story, we conclude the news tonight. But before we go, a quick look at the top stories. We told you that the Supreme Court has